the last call room. The overnight shift at Redwood Valley Emergency Dispatch Center was known for one thing: silence. Between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m., the phones almost never rang. No accidents. No drunk calls. No false alarms. Just the hum of fluorescent lights and the occasional crackle of radios from patrol units passing through empty streets. That's why everyone avoided Room C. Room C wasn't officially part of dispatch anymore. The computers were outdated. The phone lines were supposedly disconnected years ago. But the room was still powered, still locked, still on the floor plan like someone forgot to erase it.
Or didn't want to.
My first week on night shift, I asked about it. "What's Room C for?" I said casually, pointing down the hall. The supervisor didn't even look up.
"Overflow," he replied.
"But we're not overflowing." He paused, then added, "It's not for us." After that, nobody mentioned it again. Until my badge stopped working. It happened at 2:41 a.m. I stepped away to get coffee and tried to badge back into the main dispatch room. The reader blinked red. I tried again.
Red.
Behind the glass, my coworkers were still at their stations, headsets on, eyes glued to screens. Nobody noticed me standing there. I waved. Nothing. Then the hallway phone rang. Not the dispatch phone. The old wall-mounted phone outside Room C. It hadn't rung once since I'd started. The sound was wrong. Too sharp, too loud, echoing down the empty corridor. I stared at it, pulse climbing. The label beneath the receiver was faded, but still readable. Incoming only. The ringing stopped. Then started again. Against my better judgment, I picked it up. "Redwood Valley Dispatch," I said automatically. The line was quiet. Then someone spoke. "I need help," a woman said. Her voice was shaky, distant, like she was talking through water. "They said you'd still answer." "Ma'am, what's your emergency?" I asked, glancing back at the locked door. Still red. "I'm calling from Room C," she said. My stomach dropped. "That room isn't active," I said. "You need to hang up and—" "No," she interrupted, firmer now. "You don't understand. I already hung up once." The hallway lights flickered. "I worked your shift," she continued. "Same hours.
Same desk.
Same rules." I swallowed hard. "What's your name?" She hesitated. Then, "It used to be on the schedule." Behind me, the door to Room C clicked. Unlocked. Slowly, it began to open. The woman's voice dropped to a whisper. "Please," she said. "Don't transfer me." The call cut off. The door stopped halfway open. And inside Room C, a phone started ringing. "Overflow isn't empty." I didn't step inside Room C.
I don't know why.
Curiosity, fear, instinct, maybe all of it at once. I stood frozen in the hallway, staring at the half-open door, while the phone inside continued to ring. One ring.
Pause.
Another ring. Like it expected me to answer. I glanced back at the main dispatch room. Through the glass, everything looked normal. My coworkers sat at their stations, headsets on, fingers moving, screens glowing. No alarms. No urgency. No sign that anything was wrong. I knocked on the glass. Hard. Nothing. It was like I didn't exist on their side anymore. The ringing stopped. For a moment, the silence felt heavier than the sound had. I leaned forward slightly and looked into Room C through the narrow gap in the door. The lights were on. That alone made my skin crawl. I'd been told the room was decommissioned, no power, no lines, no equipment. But the fluorescent lights above the desks hummed softly, casting the same sterile glow as the rest of the floor. Inside were 3 dispatch stations, all occupied. Not by people. By chairs, pulled close to the desks like someone had just stood up and walked away. Headsets rested neatly on the consoles. Screens glowed with active call logs, timestamps scrolling, phone numbers blinking in and out like they were waiting to be answered. One station caught my attention immediately, because it was mine. Same desk layout, same cracked keyboard, same coffee stain in the corner I'd never bothered to clean. Even the small scratch on the monitor frame was there, identical down to the angle. The phone on that desk started ringing. I stepped back instinctively. My radio crackled to life on my shoulder. Dispatch to Unit 12. A voice said calmly. Confirm your location. It was my voice. Same tone. Same cadence. Even the slight hesitation before the word confirm was identical. I'm in a hallway, I said, my throat tight. Outside room C.
Static.
Then, Unit 12 is currently assigned. Assigned? To what? I asked. No answer. The phone inside room C rang again, louder this time, like it was closer. The door creaked open another inch on its own. I could see the nameplates now. Each desk had one. White plastic. Black lettering. 3 names. One of them was scratched out, the surface worn smooth like someone had tried to erase it over and over. The other 2 were clear. One was unfamiliar. The last one was mine. Full name. No title.
Just my name.
The phone finally stopped ringing. Then, from the speaker on the desk, the woman's voice returned. Clearer now, closer. You didn't transfer me, she said. Thank you. I didn't do anything, I replied, backing away. You stayed, she said. That counts. The lights in the hallway dimmed slightly, just a fraction. Enough to notice. Behind me, the badge reader beeped.
Green.
I turned. The door to the main dispatch room was unlocked now. I reached for it and felt a hand brush my sleeve. Ice cold. I spun around. No one was there. But inside room C, one of the chairs slowly rolled back from the desk, stopping just short of the doorway. Waiting. And on my radio, the automated system chimed softly. Overflow capacity reached, it announced. Reassigning calls. Do not transfer the call. The badge reader glowed green. I should have gone back inside the main dispatch room. That was the logical move.
Safe.
Normal. Documentable. Instead, I stood there, torn between the open door behind me and room C breathing quietly in front of me, lights humming like it was alive. The automated voice spoke again, softer now. Reassignment in progress. My radio vibrated against my shoulder. A call came through, not routed through the main system, straight to me. I lifted the radio slowly. Dispatch, go ahead. The woman from before answered immediately.
They're sending you calls now, she said.
That means you're visible. Visible to who?
I asked.
To the system, she replied. And to the ones waiting. A new sound joined the hum of the lights. Typing. I turned my head. Inside room C, one of the monitors began to populate with text on its own. Addresses, codes, timestamps. A live emergency call was filling the screen, even though no one sat at the desk. The chair rolled closer. I stepped back instinctively, bumping into the hallway wall. I don't work in overflow, I said, more to convince myself than anything else. You do when it's full, she replied. That's how they justify it. Justify what? The typing stopped. The screen froze on a single line. Call waiting. Do not transfer. The woman inhaled sharply on the line. Whatever you do next decides how long you stay. The lights flickered. Once, twice, then stabilized. Through the glass of the main dispatch room, I finally saw movement. One of my coworkers stood up, adjusting her headset. She looked straight at me, then looked away, like she couldn't focus on where I was standing. Can they see me?
I asked.
Not clearly, the woman said. You're between assignments. A beep sounded from the desk inside room C. The call timer started counting upward. Midnight.
001.
002. My radio crackled again, this time with the automated dispatcher. Unit reassigned. Overflow operator active. My name appeared on the screen inside room C. Not scratched out. Highlighted. The chair stopped rolling. The headset lifted off the desk on its own, just enough to tip forward, hanging like someone was about to put it on. I felt pressure in my ears, like the moment before a plane takes off. What happens if I answer? I asked quietly. You take the call, the woman said. And then you take the next one. And the next. And you. There was a pause. I answered, she said finally. That's why I can still talk to you. The timer hit 010. The phone inside room C rang once, short, sharp, impatient. I reached out before I realized I was doing it. My fingers brushed the headset. Cold shot through my arm, straight to my chest, like grabbing bare wire. The hallway behind me dimmed. The main dispatch room blurred, like it was receding, like I was being pulled out of focus. The woman's voice became urgent. Listen to me. If you answer, never transfer the call. Ever. That's how they disappear you. Who's they? I asked. The call timer reset. Midnight. Another phone rang. Then another. Screens inside room C lit up one by one. All active. All waiting. From somewhere deep in the room, a second voice spoke. Calm, practiced, familiar. Overflow operator, it said. It was my voice again. Please respond. The headset slid fully off the desk and bumped gently against my hand. Waiting. And for the first time since the ringing started, the woman on the line whispered something that made my blood run cold. They're about to start routing your calls. Your call is next. The headset was warm now. Not room temperature, body warm. I yanked my hand back like I'd touched something alive. The headset clattered against the desk, swinging gently before settling again. The screens inside room C flickered, each one displaying a different emergency call in progress. Addresses scrolled. Timers climbed. Voices whispered through speakers that shouldn't have been connected to anything. Overflow operator, the system repeated. Please respond. I didn't answer. I said aloud, my voice shaking. I didn't take the call. You touched it, the woman whispered through my radio. That's enough for them to log interest. Behind the glass, the main dispatch room faded further. My coworkers' faces blurred, their movements lagging like bad video playback. One of them laughed at something, soundless, distant, like it came from another building entirely. Another call rang. This one came from my radio. I didn't press the button. It answered anyway. 911, what's your emergency? My voice said, steady, professional, calm. I cover my mouth. The woman gasped. They're using her voice print. On the screen nearest the door, text populated rapidly. Caller ID, restricted. Location unknown. Status, active. The audio from the speaker clicked on. Breathing filled the room. Fast. Panicked. Then a voice spoke. Thin, strained, unmistakably terrified. Please, the caller said. They told me you'd still pick up. I staggered backward until I hit the hallway wall. Who is that? The woman didn't answer right away. Then, quietly, that was me. My first call. Cold spread through my chest. They told me it was a test, she continued. Overflow coverage. Temporary assignment. I thought if I helped enough people, they'd move me back. The chair inside room C rolled forward again, stopping directly in front of the desk. Inviting. The automated system chimed softly. Call duration exceeding threshold, it said. Transfer recommended. No, the woman hissed. Don't let it transfer. That's when they lock you in. The word transfer blinked on the screen. Behind me, the hallway badge reader flashed red again. I was sealed in. The caller's breathing grew erratic. They're here, the voice said. I can hear them typing. Typing. I realized then that the sound wasn't coming from the keyboards. It was coming from behind the walls. From inside the building. From places dispatch was never meant to hear. Please, the caller sobbed. Don't send me away. My radio vibrated violently. Another call queued. Then another. The system's voice lowered, almost gentle. Overflow operator, it said. Your call is next. The headset slid toward me on its own, stopping just short of my fingers. And the woman whispered the truth she'd been avoiding since the beginning. Once they route your first call, she said, you're no longer staff. The lights in room C dimmed. The call timer reset to midnight. And every screen in the room turned toward me, waiting for an answer. Hold the line. I didn't sit down. If I sat, I knew I wouldn't get back up. The chair waited anyway, perfectly aligned with the desk, headset resting where my hands would naturally fall. The screens pulsed faintly, timers ticking upward in sync, like a heartbeat that didn't belong to me. Don't answer, the woman whispered. Her voice was breaking now, thinning like a bad connection. If you don't answer, they can't finish assigning you. The caller on the line was crying openly. I can hear them, she said. They're saying my name. The typing grew louder.
Faster.
Keys clicking in patterns that felt deliberate, rehearsed. Not human hands. Too precise. Too patient. I pressed my palms against my ears. It didn't help. The sound wasn't traveling through air, it was coming through the floor, the walls, the ceiling. Like the building itself was processing something. Overflow operator, the system said again. No impatience. No threat. Response required. I looked at the screens. One showed a burning apartment. Another showed a stalled car on a dark highway. Another showed a child whispering into a phone, hiding somewhere small. Real calls. Real emergencies. They use that, the woman said, reading my silence. They don't force you. They let you think you're choosing to help. The word transfer flashed again. The hallway lights behind me went out completely. Room C was the only place left lit on the floor. I picked up the radio, with shaking hands. Dispatch, I said. Override overflow routing. Static. Then my supervisor's voice cut in, flat, distant, wrong. You're not authorized for that channel. I'm standing in room C, I snapped. Do you hear me? A pause. Then, carefully, there is no room C. The woman let out a small, defeated laugh. That's when it happened for me. The caller's breathing spiked. Please don't hang up. They said if you transfer me, I won't be able to call again. The system chimed softly. Call hold limit reached. I looked at the headset. At the chair. At the door that no longer existed behind me. And then, I did the only thing they hadn't planned for. I didn't answer. I didn't transfer. I slammed my hand down and ended the call. Every screen went black. The typing stopped mid-click. The lights flickered wildly, surging bright, then dim, then bright again. A sound tore through the room. Not an alarm, not a scream, but something like a breath being sucked out of a lung. No, the woman gasped. What did you? The system's voice cut in, no longer calm. Error, it announced. Call dropped. Overflow unstable. The chair shot backward, slamming into the wall. The headset fell to the floor. The door to the main dispatch room burst open behind me, light flooding in so suddenly it made my eyes sting. Sound rushed back, voices, phones ringing, radios crackling life. Hands grabbed my shoulders. Hey, my supervisor shouted. What are you doing out here? I turned. Room C was dark. Empty. Just a locked door with peeling paint and a sign bolted to it. Storage, do not use. My radio was dead. The hallway phone was silent. No lights. No screens. No ringing. They wrote it up as a panic episode. Stress. Fatigue. Night shift confusion. I didn't argue. I transferred departments the next week. But sometimes, when the city goes quiet between 1 o'clock and 4 a.m., my phone rings once. No number. No voicemail. And if I listen closely, beneath the static, I can still hear typing, incoming only. I thought ending the call had saved me. That's what everyone said it meant when the reports were filed. Call dropped, system reset, operator reassigned. A clean explanation. A comfortable one. The kind institutions use when something almost breaks through. But the thing about overflow systems is this. They don't disappear. They wait. I lasted 6 months in my new department. Day shift. Normal hours. Normal phones. Normal calls. I stopped checking the time between 1 o'clock and 4 a.m. I stopped listening for phantom typing. I even convinced myself that room C had been a stress hallucination layered on top of exhaustion. Then one night, while I was asleep, my phone rang. Once. It didn't wake me fully, just enough to pull me into that shallow space between dreams and consciousness. I reached for it, half asleep, but the screen was already dark. No missed call. No notification. Just silence. The next morning, I had a voicemail. No number. No timestamp. Just static at first. Then breathing. Slow. Controlled. And then a voice I recognized immediately.
Mine.
Overflow coverage active, it said calmly. Please do not disconnect. I deleted the voicemail. It came back. Every night after that at random times, not always between 1 and 4 anymore. Sometimes during lunch. Sometimes while I was driving. Always one ring. Always no record. I stopped answering my phone altogether. That's when the email started. From addresses that didn't exist when you replied. Subject, call waiting. Subject, reassignment notice. Subject, incoming only. The last one had an attachment. A screenshot. It showed a dispatch interface I hadn't seen since room C. One active line. No caller ID. Timer counting upward. And a note beneath it. Transfer failed. Operator required. I quit my job. Moved apartments. Changed cities. It didn't matter. Because last night, walking home, I passed a police station. And through the front window, I saw it. A hallway phone.
Old.
Wall-mounted. Faded label beneath the receiver. Incoming only. It started ringing as I walked past. Inside, no one reacted. No one even looked up. The ringing followed me down the street, growing quieter only when I put distance between us, like a signal losing strength. I don't think room C was a room. I think it was a position. And once you touch the system, once you hear the calls you're not supposed to hear, it marks you as available. They don't drag you away.
They don't trap you outright.
They wait for you to answer. So, if you ever work overnight dispatch, if you ever see a room nobody uses, if you ever hear a phone ringing where there shouldn't be one, don't pick it up. Because some calls aren't emergencies. They're vacancies. And the system always prefers someone who already knows how to listen.